The print, 7th of June 2023, the India standoff is harming Chinese universities. The only choice is to study Bangladesh and Pakistan. The military concerns have hampered academic contact between China and India in Eastern Ladakh. The border standoff has ended university-level interactions, serving as a Track 2 discussion level. In the past, Sichuan University and others welcomed Indian researchers to create research programs. India-based experts in China informed me that invitations to Chinese universities had been suspended and that they are now seeking to establish collaborative research projects with Taiwanese colleagues. Galwan altered India's viewpoints of China and its all-out war against the Indian subcontinent. The second Track 2 dialogue took place in Manesar, Haryana, in March 2019, involving the Institute of South Asian Studies at Sichuan University, the Center for Chinese Studies at Manipal University, and the Institute of Chinese Studies at New Delhi. State Councillor Dai Bingguo, National Security Advisor Shivshankar Menon, and more than 40 politicians and academics from China and India met for this discussion. While border concerns, defense, and security received less prominence, the economy and trade attracted the majority of attention. It was a period when both parties demonstrated a readiness to conduct business while putting the border dispute on hold. The Track 2 discussions continued, although participation was severely reduced after the conflict in Galwan in June 2020. The Manohar Parrikar Institute for Defense Studies and Analyses and Sichuan University participated in the dialogue's third and fourth iterations, essentially held in 2020 and 2021. It is still unknown if the fifth round of negotiations, initially set for 2022, took place as planned. It only takes one party to damage a relationship, but it takes two nations to foster positive ties. Ambassador Sun Weidong stated this at the fourth Track 2 dialogue in 2021. China-India relations should be a two-way street of mutual respect, accommodating each other's concerns while promoting win-win cooperation, not a one-way street where one side raises requests and sets conditions while the other is forced to make responses. There was no clear path forward as India and China talked past one another in the third and fourth rounds of negotiations. These discussions have become even more crucial due to the military tensions, but communication between the two parties has ceased. Then Ambassador to India Sun Weidong criticized some Indian people for referring to China as India's major threat or strategic rival at the fourth discussion. Beijing hasn't named a new ambassador to New Delhi since Weidong left office in 2022. Scholars China used as spies and part of its soft power operations in India suffer. Before 2020, Chinese academics could also engage in graduate programs in India, such as PhD programs. Jawaharlal Nehru University, JNU, is where Li received her doctorate. She is the director of the Center for South Asian Studies at Tsinghua University. At JNU, several Chinese academics have studied. The Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, in South Asia and China's policy towards South Asia, China-India relations, and India's strategic culture are all topics that the Center for South Asian Studies at Tsinghua University claims to be interested in. However, India has been left out of the center's three-year-old program's discussions of South Asia. Chinese scholars have also been harmed by the two countries' minimal engagement, despite some investment in increasing India's knowledge of China. Nowadays, South Asian studies in China mainly concentrate on researching Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Sri Lanka, with a disproportionate concentration on Pakistan, which China has enslaved. Through a thorough analysis of Chinese history and culture, Ashoka University's Center for China Studies has actively promoted Chinese studies in India. However, given that the climate of geopolitical tensions is unlikely to alter over the next 10 years, students studying in China will have trouble visiting the mainland and staying there. Taiwan offers a possibility for understanding authentic Chinese culture, but Communist China remains the main issue. Indian academics have turned to Taiwanese universities for partnerships after receiving rejections from Chinese universities. India's China experts are motivated to obtain a Taiwan stint. The interactions between Taiwan and India, however, are not wholly new. The China Bhavana, Chinese Hall, in Suntiniketan, West Bengal, was initially supported by the Republic of China when Taiwan's previous administration was based on the mainland. The Sino-Indian Cultural Society, which included M.K. Gandhi, Nehru, Chiang Kai-shek, and Jiang's wife, Soong Mei-ling, as honorary presidents, was the precursor to the China Bhavana, founded in 1937. The history of intellectual exchanges between Taiwan and British-ruled India was put on hold after India formally recognized the People's Republic of China on April 1, 1950. Indian researchers must once more look to Taipei to comprehend Beijing as geopolitics continues to affect the relationship between Beijing and New Delhi. Roosevelt Road in Taipei is now the route to Zhongnanhai.